real quick, Larry, would you just tell people about your food forest here?
Okay,
You got some apples right here, right?
We are harvesting some Granny Smith apples right now. Supposedly the best cooking apple there is. And it is supposedly the last apple that is grown in this area to ripen. And supposedly it gets ripe in November. And if we left them here, they would continue to grow for another month.
Wow.
But they would start to develop little brown rot spots because of the humidity in our area here. So they are good size and
they look
good to cook with right now. Now I give some to married to a cousin of my wife. Of course, she's kin to everybody in Cheatham County. But this girl does not waste anything.
Really?
She took a couple of bushels of apples of different types.
Uh-huh.
She peels them and cores them, then cuts the apple into wedges, puts lemon on it to keep them from turning dark, and freezes them in a Ziploc baggie. Then she takes the peel and the core and cooks it down and makes apple jelly out of it. So she doesn't waste anything.
Nice. How old is this tree here, do you think?
This tree was planted in 2007 or 2008, one of the two. So
and how old is this like food forest that you've created here? You got lots of different stuff going on, right?
It started in 2007.
2007.
Yeah, I did live a quarter of a mile down here in another house, and I sold that house and the 120 acres and I've got 13 acres here.
Nice.
So I started my first trees in this orchard in 2007.
Okay.
Two of the first ones I put out were those, you see that black walnut?
Yep.
I put those out in 2007 as English walnuts.
Gotcha.
And there were two different subspecies, so they cross-pollinate.
Gotcha.
Well, that in 2007, we had a very, very, very warm March. Everything bloomed out, put on a little fruit, put their leaves out. All that tender stuff and new growth was exposed, and we had 3 nights in the 18 and 20 range in late April. Now, it not only killed my fruit of the year, it killed several of my trees. What I didn't know then was it killed my English walnuts back to the rootstock. And what they had done apparently is taken that English walnut root plant and grafted it onto a black walnut rootstock.
Right.
So when it came back out from the root, I had black walnuts
nice.
instead of English walnuts. And it was so late before I discovered that, I just left them there and let them go.
You have Japanese walnuts, butternuts.
I've got nuts. The nuts
chestnuts.
I have are Japanese walnuts, American butternuts, black walnuts, Chinese chestnuts, and I've got 4 different species of pecans.
And hazelnuts too, right?
And I got hazelnuts.
Yeah.
The pecans are young and they're just starting to produce a few pecans.
And as far as fruit, you got figs, apples, peaches,
I do, and I've got
cherries.
on the fences, I've got the grapes, and I've got about 30 grapevines of different varieties.
Nice.
Seedless, seeded, muscadine grapes, fry, scuppernong grapes.
Nice.
And I even got a new one right there that I put out last year that I never heard of before. It's supposedly a ever-bearing grapevine.
Oh, wow.
So it will start producing grapes when the earliest other grapes produce, but it won't quit producing, and it will keep on producing grapes until the frost kills it.
Nice.
Now that's the theory, that's the vine, and it hasn't get big enough to produce yet, but it should have a few little ones on it next year. And
amazing.
yes, the fruit I've got in here, I've got 12 apple trees of different varieties, and when I put out the fruit, whether it be pears, apples, peaches, whatever, I get them of a variety that ranges from the earliest ripening to the latest ripening.
Right. Okay.
So that like with the peaches, I'm starting to get ripe peaches in mid-May, and then the last ones I pick off the trees are in mid-September. So I've got ripe peaches off of the tree during that period of time.
Awesome.
My favorite way to eat a peach is ideally to watch it when it looks like it's ripe enough to fall, to catch it before it hits the ground and burst open and eat that. That's when
Nice.
it's the sweetest and the best flavor.
Nice.
So all my fruit is that way.
Yeah.
The earliest ripening is a Lodi apple, gets ripe in mid-July.
Nice.
The latest one is the Arkansas Black that gets ripe in
Oh, that's the latest.
mid-November,
Interesting.
along with this Granny Smith.
Nice. Yeah. This
And-
thing is loaded.
Yeah, it is.
Got so many.
I've got to start trimming those limbs because the blooms go out on the extension of those limbs, and I have to prop them up to keep them from breaking.
Yeah. It looks like the props are really working to
Yeah, they do.
keep it up nicely.
And I'm fortunate enough, I got a stand you see yonder of bamboo, and they'll get 2.5 inches in diameter and 40 feet tall.
Uh-huh.
I've got those there. I set them out several years ago so that I would have bamboo here that I can cut and use it to stake green beans,
Right. Yep.
prop up fruit limbs, whatever I need something like that for here.
Yeah.
So that's what I got there. Then I do my my gardening for vegetables in a system that they call the 400-year-old double dig system that
Oh,
came
yeah.
out of France.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice these cedar poles is the border on this side, and you got another one over there running parallel,
Yeah.
5 feet. All my vegetable beds are 5 feet wide. And I fluff them up in the spring, 2 feet deep, put more organic matter into the soil. And the plants that you plant, you put them to where they mature. The leaves of one plant is touching the leaves of its neighboring plant. That way the sun doesn't reach the soil
That's
and
right.
dry it out.
Yeah.
And it only takes about 28% as much water to grow vegetables that way.
And less weeds too, right?
And you have the shading out of the weeds and grass, and you don't have near the problem with that.
How did all your blueberries over there do this year?
Awesome. I had a great, the only blueberries that didn't do well
Uh-huh.
are the two that I screwed up myself. We were having little freezes
Uh-huh.
when the blueberries were in bloom, and I put dark black plastic, totally covered those two bushes there,
Uh-huh.
and then underneath I put smudge pots
Oh,
with
yeah, I've heard
kerosene
of those, yeah.
to keep that warm. Well, with that plastic in the kerosene smudge pots, it got too warm. And it did
Dried 'em
damage
out?
to my blueberries and
Gotcha.
the crop.
Gotcha.
But now
gotcha.
the bushes come back out. You can see they're very lively.
Yeah, they look good, yeah.
But other than that, I had a full crop of blueberries on all
Awesome.
my bushes.
And is that one of the pecans over there?
Yep.
That tall one?
Yeah.
Nice, that looks great.
It's got a few on it. You can see them. And this is my strawberry bed. I put these out a year ago this fall.
Nice.
I got 12 gallons of strawberries last spring. They put out good runners. I'll probably get 12, 15 gallons of strawberries this spring
Yeah.
out of it.
Nice.
When I put out a bed like that and let them grow and reproduce, they will normally last 4 years.
Nice.
And then I will set me another
Transplant them
bed
out or whatever.
and
yeah.
use this bed for something else.
Here's,
yeah,
one,
this-
here's one of the chestnuts, right? We were
This is
just
the
picking
pecan.
from.
I don't know if you can, if you look really hard, you can see a few pecans hanging.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if your camera will pick up those pecans or not, but there's a couple,
Yeah, I can see them.
couple here and there.
Tree looks good.
Yeah.
Looks real good.
Yeah, and then I
And
got
then-
another one right down there. And this one.
Right,
this
and
one.
then one over
Well,
there.
And I'm not sure they're going to pollinate each other as well as they should, for the simple reason I've got a magnolia in between these two,
Uh-huh.
and a magnolia in between this one and that one.
Gotcha.
And I'm not sure that pollen gets through those thick leaves of that magnolia as effective as they should.
That's a good question.
Maybe enough of it will get through there to pollinate that. Hopefully, anyway.
So you got your vegetables kind of in this canopy gap between the food forest over there and the food forest down there.
This one and this one, which I've still got crops coming on these three. These are sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes, yep.
And
They look good.
I will harvest those before too long, you have to get them out before the frost comes. Because if the frost kills the vine, there is a semi-liquid in that vine that when it freezes, it goes back into the root and it will ruin the potato.
Right, yep, totally.
But you can see the crack there where the potato is.
Yep.
So they're
down in there.
pretty well developed now.
Is that a pear tree right over there? Is that what
It's
we're
a
looking
pear
at?
tree, and the one next to it's a pear tree.
Nice.
I didn't have much of a pear crop this year.
It looks like there's some pears still hanging on there.
There's a half a dozen.
Yeah, okay.
This is my broccoli.
Nice, looking good, looking good.
And then where it ends right there, I've got about 12, 15
Cabbage?
plants.
Nice,
And then at the other end of it, I've got cauliflower.
nice, awesome.
And I'm still getting tomatoes. I had a horrible first crop of tomatoes this year.
Really?
I screwed that bed up somehow or another.
And these are black cherry tomatoes here?
Yeah.
They look good.
You
Yeah, oh yeah, they look great. You mind if I eat one?
can have all them you want. Take some of them home with you if you want them. And I have gotten Swiss chard, John, all summer. My brother roses in Mississippi, and he says in the hot summer down there it quits producing. But it's still putting out. These are my two latest tomatoes, and I don't think they're going to have time to produce. I started these from the seed myself. They're brandywine, pink brandywine, my favorite tomato. And these are 4 sisters to those plants. But I got these about 3 or 4 weeks before I got those and put them out. And you can see
They're already
the broccoli
producing.
is starting to form now.
Yeah. Some more tomatoes.
I got some
Wow, some early Brussels sprouts, right?
late.
Late.
I never have even pulled anything off. You can pull some of them off and eat them. They're still
When did you plant these?
Same time I planted my first crop of broccoli and cauliflower back in, I guess, in early June.
Oh, okay, huh?
And I
Right
just
on.
let them go. I haven't done them. So
Wow,
that's
look at
that.
those grapevines.
Huh?
Those grapevines look pretty serious over there. Is that muscadine or is that the scuppernine?
Yeah. We'll go
Nice.
around this place. I bought a few scraggly cauliflower plants that were in the middle of the summer and put them out, and I don't know if they'll ever do anything or not. They look kind of ragged.
These other guys look good though.
Yeah, they look healthy.
Yep.
That hard rain and wind blew some of them over, and I had to come back out and
Stand them up.
stand them and prop them back up. So,
Any hazelnuts this year?
a few.
A few.
I used to get quite a few. I used to get 3 gallons more or less a year. But the flying squirrels discovered them 2 or 3 years ago. Do you know what a flying squirrel is?
I didn't know that we had them here.
We have them here.
Yeah.
But they discovered them 2 or 3 years ago,
Nice.
and they come out at night.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
So the other squirrels, I can shoot them with my pellet gun and get them, eliminate them. But those come out at night, and I saw a bunch of holes laying over on one of these
Wow.
about a month and a half ago. But
So we got some hazelnuts over here.
Yeah.
Black walnut, 2 black walnuts, 2 Chinese chestnuts. We saw the pecans over there. Apples, pears.
some Kiowa blackberries.
Oh, is that on that cattle
right.
panel over there?
Right there.
Yep.
That's the world's largest blackberry.
Wow, really?
Those things will get that long and this big around. They're not real sweet to eat, but they make great jams and jellies and cobbler. And there's a couple more hazelnut trees and fig trees. These figs would produce, John, if I would protect them in the winter.
Gotcha.
But it's a lot of work to gather those up, surround them with 12, 15 inches of wheat straw,
Yep.
wrap them up in plastic, and cover them up.
Right.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, totally.
But
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
I was doing that. This is a black mission. Makes a fig this big around, black,
Yeah.
sweet as it can be. The last crop of it I had, I didn't get a one. The coons discovered them. So, my buddy told me about the Chicago hardy.
Yeah,
Fig.
that's what we got. We got
So
some of
I've
those.
got two of those young plants, and they're supposed to be where they don't have to have protection over
Oh,
them.
yeah. Yeah, I see that one right. Oh, I see both of them, yeah, over there.
And this is a little red drawn apple tree. It's
Oh,
got
nice.
too many apples, so it's actually put a whole lot of stress on the tree. I should have pulled some of them off. But it'll keep on. It'll get ripe. It's
Yeah.
a tasty little apple. This was a Gala apple, and it was loaded this year.
You already got them, though.
Yeah, it's already gone. These were peaches.
Peaches, nice.
And
This is the Arkansas black here, eh?
this is Arkansas black.
Man, lots of nice
And you
of nice apples on there.
You can see it's still loaded.
Oh, yeah. Man, looks great.
And some of the ones on the ground are good, John.
Oh, yeah,
But we
totally.
come over here. The first thing, no. First thing you need to learn is this.
What's that?
Flip it over with your foot. Make sure it doesn't have yellow jackets feeding on it.
Oh, yeah, the yellow jackets are so bad this
They
year.
love- See them on that?
Yep.
I didn't realize that they were also in the tree. I was picking one off of this tree a couple of days, about 3 days ago, and I didn't see the yellow jacket on the other side of the apple, and I picked it. He stung me on this,
Oh, yeah.
and his
Yeah.
finger is still sore.
I know.
3
Their
days
stings hurt so bad. I got 2 of them this year already.
But you see how many of them were congregated on that thing?
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Yeah, they've been, like, their numbers exploded this year. I've never seen so
Yeah.
many.
But luckily I hadn't run across them with my lawnmower, because they'll
Yeah.
eat you up.
Yeah, they don't like anything that vibrates like that, right?
No.
And
Well, what it is they're protecting their young. They won't
Right.
bother you if you bother them on their food.
Right,
But
right,
you get
yeah.
around on their young in
Yeah.
the ground, and they will nail you. Now, get a close up of that bigger one right there.
Was that a cicada killer? Is that what that is?
I think it's a killer bee. I don't know.
Yeah.
They came in here 2 years ago eating my pears when they fell down. I didn't know what they were, but I'd never seen anything like them before. There's one over yonder. So I brought a fly
Oh,
flap.
that looks like a bald-faced hornet over there. Those guys are...
I brought a fly flap over here and left it over here. Every morning I'd go around to the fallen pears and kill them with the fly flap. I killed 392 of those with the fly flap 3 years ago. And this is the first time I've seen
Wow.
any of them back in here. I guess they thought, well, maybe Larry lost his fly flap.
So what are these right here?
This is a Boskoop
Oh, okay.
apple. Boskoop.
Right.
It's an old Dutch apple. It's a russet apple, and I'm gonna pick this one. Hopefully, there's not a yellow jacket on the other side of it.
Wow,
I want you to eat
looks like a
that.
good one. Sure, yeah.
It's tangy.
Should I just bite right into it?
Well, I always cut them open. You want to cut it open? You bite into it. It's real tangy.
Oh, yeah.
So I like that once in a while.
Yeah, it tastes great.
Yeah,
I love it.
I like to eat them, but they make wonderful preserves, and
What kind of apple is this one over here?
that is a freedom.
Freedom. Oh, yeah, I planted some of those. Not producing yet, but...
Look at those things. Yeah, those, we'll get you a few of those. I'll need to get my apple picker out of my building
Nice.
so we can reach the bigger ones up there for you to eat.
Nice.
But I'd get the Boskoop and the Granny Whites to cook with. Make great cobblers and pies. And
Yeah,
that kind of
they
thing.
taste great.
But this one was
Boskoop.
loaded this year. It's never had more than a couple dozen apples, but this year it was absolutely loaded. But we're right at the tail end of any of them being up in there. There's a good one. Pick that.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to get my basket.
Okay. Here's the scuppernong. I had an apple tree there, and it made so many that it killed itself. So I cut it down. And I gotta get that root out.
How do you like these scuppernongs?
Let me show you what to do with it. What I do with it. See these, the darker bronze they are, the riper they are. Here's what I do with them. You see where I picked it?
Mm-hmm.
Put that on the inside. Then squish it out and I throw the hull away.
Mm.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, they're great.
They really are.
Wow. Even the seeds kind of taste good too.
Yeah, if you want to chew on them, they're good.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's in those seeds?
What?
Resveratrol.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's
Healthy heart.
yeah, exactly. Anti-cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Helps with Lyme disease supposedly.
They say that the purple grape for purple wine is really high in resveratrol,
Mm-hmm.
but these have 7 times as much resveratrol as those purple
Whoa.
grapes.
Whoa.
So they are really, really strong. Have you got a belt on?
No, I don't.
You got a belt loop?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't have one on, so I'm going to let you use my support to fix those scuppernongs. Let me grab a box for the scuppernongs on.
Just want to show these butternuts and Japanese walnuts over here. Some walnuts out here. All those. Some butternuts. And you can see over there, starting to pick up some of those Japanese walnuts. Chestnut, black walnuts. It's amazing. So amazing.
I want you to get a picture of this organic bug killer
Sure.
down here in my shed in a minute.
Yeah.
But turn that off and let's get this